I think that there is high interest in the Danny Masterson case, not just because of Danny Masterson, but really because of the Church of Scientology. That is a major element in this case, whether the judge likes that or not. The judge has said at the beginning, this case is not Scientology on trial, but the fact of the matter is you have Danny Masterson, the defendant, who's a lifelong Scientologist, and you have three accusers who are or formerly were members of the Church of Scientology and have made allegations against the church saying that they were stalked, they were harassed, and that they weren't able to come forward to the police for very long because they were affiliated with the church. So I think the Church of Scientology, there's always a big question mark over it. A lot of people are very confused. It seems to be a mysterious organization.
Another big day in Los Angeles. Danny Masterson, you may not know the name, but you absolutely will know the face once you see it. Well, not behind the mask, you're not going to recognize him, but from that 70s show, one of the stars of that wildly successful sitcom from a few years back. There's a better look at Danny Masterson. He grew up in the Church of Scientology, and three members or former members of that church have accused him of rape. So there are three accusers in the case against him, but big news today involving a fourth Jane Doe. Let's bring in Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, joining us live tonight outside the courthouse in Los Angeles. Matt, great to see you tonight. Let's begin with this, a fourth Jane Doe. What do we know about her, and where did she come from?
Right, so good evening to you, Vinny. So that's the big bombshell here at the California courthouse where this is all taking place. Court TV has confirmed through prosecutors they plan to call a fourth Jane Doe tomorrow. So that means Danny Masterson and his family will be eye to eye with this fourth person accusing him of rape. This is something that stems from 1996 allegations, and allegations that have nothing to do with these three rape charges that he is on trial for. Judge Olmedo has reversed a pre-trial decision of hers where she's allowing this fourth Jane Doe to testify about prior bad acts and behavior of Danny Masterson. So we expect her to be called first thing in the morning. Here at the courthouse, I met up with attorney Gloria Allred, and I talked to her about what it's like for these alleged rape victims to take the stand and testify. Take a listen.
It's always challenging to testify in a high-profile case. Very different than giving an interview on television, but you know, you have to raise your hand, you have to take the oath to swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. The Church of Scientology is very, very powerful, and the idea that, in a way, that they're taking the church on is extremely unusual.
All right, so Gloria Allred sounding off there on what it's like for these Jane Does. She's represented several with Weinstein, etc. And that's why she was at the courthouse here, Vinny, because she's not representing any of the now four Jane Does in this particular trial.
Okay, let's talk about what happened today. Who was on the stand? What did they have to say?
Well, Detective Javier Vargas was back on the stand for cross and then redirect and recross. He was where we left off last week. He was the lead investigator through LAPD, and he also interviewed some of the Jane Does, including Jane Doe number 4, who we're going to hear from tomorrow, and Jane Doe number 4's mother. And he was really questioned about the cross-pollination of the witnesses and also the cross-pollination of the accusers, because allegedly they all spoke to each other, and that's come out in testimony before going to LAPD. When he was asked about Jane Doe number 3, which has been public, Chrissy Bixler, she was even talking to Leah Remini, we remember that. He was asked about abuse and if she has ever contradicted her own statements about abuse in their 6-year relationship. He said at one time on the stand today, quote, that Masterson would never hurt her. That was one of her statements. Now, under redirect, Detective Vargas was asked about Jane Doe number 2 and reporting how forceful Masterson could be in the relationship in general. And this is what really stood out, quote, if you don't come over here, meaning to his house, I will come and get you. And that's what a lot of the women have said on the stand time and time again. They felt intimidated, not only by the church and reporting, but intimidated by Masterson himself.
All right, how about outside the courthouse today? What was going on out there in L.A.?
Aside from the rain and everybody trying to vote, well, you know, it has been a very busy campaign by Scientology, which we're going to talk about, because, you know, even though Scientology is not on trial here, they say that they believe that Masterson will be found innocent. They believe that they have not done any wrongdoing. They are also named in a similar civil case. Well, this jury is hearing about Scientology policies because the women say that that's the reason why they couldn't report rape sooner, right? So Scientology is a theme. Jurors are told not to read or listen to anything about this trial. But if you turn on your TV, especially during this election day and leading up to this, you can't help but see ads like this, which is attack ads in the mayoral race here in Los Angeles. Take a look at this.
This day and this new church of Scientology is an exciting moment because I know your goal and your commitment is truly to make a difference. That is why the words are exciting of your founder, L. Ron Hubbard, in the creed of the Church of Scientology.
All right, so Congresswoman Karen Bass in that ad right there, she's running for mayor tonight. She was against developer billionaire Rick Caruso. Both of them have condemned Scientology. They're running attack ads like that. You can't help but see them. And then you had the Leah Remini tweet storm not too long ago. And you have all of this trial coverage with the Danny Masterson case involving Scientology. So on TV, you also have Scientology ads. Take a look.
You've probably heard of Scientology.
Why is it a religion? What's it clear? What's it mean?
Well, whatever you have heard, if you haven't heard it from us, I can assure you, we are not what you expect.
So Scientology in the middle of their own PR fight right now, Vinny, as this trial continues. The state expecting to rest their case in chief this Thursday. Next week is when the trial could wrap up. We don't know if Masterson will take the stand.
That's going to be the big question next week. You know, it's a he said, she said, she said, she said, she said, but we'll see if he says anything. Matt Johnson in L.A. tonight in the rain. Unbelievable. Thanks so much, Matt. Great to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
All right, let's bring back in our think tank Michael Sterling, Ann Bremner, Darnell Crossland with us. Ann, let me ask you about Jane Doe number 4 now. This is prior bad acts. This is the first of any of these accusers in the case that aren't associated with the Church of Scientology, sort of someone else to corroborate his behavior. How important, how potentially devastating for Masterson?
Well, it is devastating, you know, because somebody completely different. So just get rid of all that mood music in the case, right? Then you've got this completely different Jane Doe victim. Problematic, though, when you look at Cosby's case, they were critical on appeal of other Jane Does testifying. Remember, even though his case was dismissed on other grounds, or was that basically the court vacated the judgments. But what about Weinstein? I mean, he had a number of Jane Does. You know, back in my day when I did sex assault cases, SAU, we were really careful about that kind of evidence, you know, for obvious reasons. We don't want to have to defend the readout, you know, the appeal all over again, you know, when did you need it? But apparently the prosecutors think they need it, and that it will be something that will be very impactful with all of this Scientology and other information that's gotten into this case.
Darnell, it's the best thing for the jury when they hear these prior bad acts. They get a much clearer picture of the defendant, don't they?
Yeah.
No, they get a much clearer picture of the
Michael's shaking his head. Wait. Michael's shaking his head. Look at him. He's just going, oh, come on, Vin, not again, not again. Go ahead, Darnell, then we'll hear from the professor.
Exactly. He's a former prosecutor, so he's obviously crossed over to the good side, and he knows that you prosecutors always want the leg up. So what happens in these cases, I had a similar case, 2 sexual assault teenagers claiming that my guy sexually assaulted them. And then the third sister who came from Guatemala and moved into the house wasn't sexually assaulted, but the judge allowed that third person to testify that my guy told her, you seem to be very shy. I have ways to get you out of that. And of course, I'm raising holy hell about the whole idea that this is going before the jury. Of course, Vinny, you know the verdict was not guilty, of course. But you know the challenges that we face when we have these mounting attacks on us by the prosecution. So I don't buy that modus operandi, prior bad act. Let me show you how this person rolls. And if he rolled that way, I'm sure he did it on this type of day. So, it makes it more challenging for defense. But in the end, we prevail because the truth always prevails.
Yeah. Michael, I don't know if this is your first time on with Darnell, but he's getting close to breaking Joe DiMaggio's streak inside the courtroom. I don't know what the number is tonight, but Michael, prior bad acts. I mean, sometimes it gives the jury a clearer picture of people like Harvey Weinstein.
Vinny, but the truth of the matter is that, and I said this earlier, so I want to be consistent. I said you try the case between the lines, right? So whether it was beneficial for the defense or beneficial for the prosecutor, I want to be consistent in terms of how we interpret law, evidence, and rules. You try the case between the lines. And to me, that's coloring outside the lines. When you're allowing information in about a specific case, so the juror has to consider the specific evidence against that specific charge. When you color outside the lines, which is why 404B, character evidence about other bad acts exists, even though there are exceptions, the reason that rule of evidence exists is that you don't want the jury to say, because you did something wrong in your past, you must be guilty of this crime. Because there are times where, for example, I've defended individuals who have prior drug convictions, turned their life around, did something completely different, and tried to make something of themselves. I don't want you using that drug conviction and saying, because you have this prior felony drug conviction, you also must be guilty of whatever this new thing is, right? Because there are times where individuals are able, we have to make a decision. Do we believe in second chances or not? Do we believe in the power of redemption or not? Do we believe that people can change and make better circumstances? So the reason 404B exists is because individuals can make different decisions about their lives, and jurors should not be able to consider whether or not you're guilty of the specific charge against you in that case simply because you did something bad in your past, right? So we have to believe, in the power of second chances and redemption. So that's the reason why 404B exists, although there are exceptions, obviously motive, planning, things like that, that are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, I think here prosecutors are doing it because the defense is making the case that these 3 other accusers all colluded with each other and all kind of planned and plotted it. And here's someone from the outside, same accusations, completely unconnected. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if the jury believes it. And then if the jury does, we'll see what the appellate court has to say. And who knows? Michael Sterling may be on the appellate court by the time that case is heard. Might have to recuse himself, though.
I have to recuse myself.
Exactly.
Right?
All right.